Greetings, everybody. It's Hump Day, and it's right before the July holiday, so I have a little fun snippet for the end of this. I hope you think it's fun. I went to my garden and told you about my garden because I know that creatives do so many creative things. They don't just knit, and they're amazing cooks usually. They love to garden or do other things. They have multiple creative kinds of textile things they might do, or draw, or paint, or, the sky's the limit usually for a creative. So that's at the end of this today. But to start out, I have two things I wanted to talk about, and one is I got an email this week I subscribed to the Modern Daily Knitting email, and they're the ones who put on the Great Nash Yarn Fest. Look for that. That's happening again next spring. I think it's April. That was so fun. Bluegrass music, really, country music. It really was reflective of the area. It was just such a great vibe. So anyway, that's a sidetrack. But their newsletter is always very informative too. And this week, Patty Lyons had a little tutorial linked to their blog. And it was about button bands and doing the same thing I've been doing. But she did one more thing. And to be honest, I thought of this and then I didn't try it. But now I'm going to try it because I see how easy it is. And it's yet another better solution to get the button band we want without having to attach it separately. So I'm going to switch my camera and show you what that looks like. And we need to, I've got it upside down. We'll get it, there we go, changed correctly, and we'll give it a little autofocus. And okay, so remember last time I did the twisted stitches, and she had done that too. She did twisted stitches, and that helped, but what she really found that helped was to bring her needle size down here. And all she did was add a different set of needles to do this part that just hangs while you're finishing the rest of it on larger needles. So I'm going to try that, and I think we are so close to the winner. But I was appreciative for her tutorial, and it is finishing off the processing that I was going through. So I've linked that in the description so you can have a look at that when we're done. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do next, is probably a size 4, and then this is on a 6, and you just keep, these needles hang while this, you just keep going. And her little blog tutorial shows you that, so you can see that there. And what I wanted to tell you was that all spring I've been kind of pondering this survey that I read. I belong to Craft Industry Alliance for craft businesses, and they published a survey. Now, this survey was done by Barocco Yarns. I do not know how they reached out to get participants, responders to the survey, but they surveyed 6,300 people. I have my notes here, and they asked them some very interesting consumer questions. And so I'm curious about you. If I've been thinking about this in terms of my own making, and so I'm just curious, does this match you in your personal data on knitting? So what they found was, now it was 6,300 people. The average age was 58.8. Again, we have to remember that they do not say how they targeted this group of people, so that's everything kind of. But we'll just take this for what it is. The average age was 58.8. 51% of those responding are retired. 28% are employed full-time. Their online purchases, so they purchase 35% of the time online versus 30% at their local yarn shop. And then 18% purchase at the big box places like Joann's, which of course is now out of business. So Michael's is another one. That'll be interesting to see. They do this every year, and interesting to see what that looks like next year with Joanne's being gone. But the online portion, of course, is very interesting to me. And then then this was breaking down percentages of what's bought online versus in the store. Yarn, 60%, store, 40%. Tools, they buy 65% of them in the online versus 35% in the store. And patterns almost always are bought online, 94% versus 6% in the store. Ravelry, that makes sense. Having the digital versions now is pretty much what everyone does. Most of the people who responded knit versus crochet or do both, and they are highly skilled at their craft. There really weren't very many beginners at all. 60% of the 6,300 people knit daily, so that's pretty cool. And then this was the most interesting to me. It was the number of projects that people start in a year and the percentage of what gets finished. So 18 to 24-year-olds are starting 17 projects each year. And they're finishing 76% of those. That is a lot of projects, and that is a very high completion rate. And that is exciting to me. And it just gets better. 25 to 44-year-olds, I kind of conflated the groups for our purposes. But they do 19 to 20 projects a year, and on average between those groups finish about 82% of them. 55 age folks and up do on average 19 projects a year and finish on average 90%. Now, I conflated three groups, and the older people get, the more projects they do, and I think like the oldest 75 and older finished 96% of the time, I think it was. But on average, across all the groups, people are making or starting 19 different projects, and they're finishing 16, and that makes a completion rate of 84%. And that is really, really exciting for the maker industry. So there you go. Now, what I wonder is, does this data fit you? How many projects do you start a year, and how many do you finish? Do you buy mostly online? What do you buy online? So patterns, like I said, were 94% of the time bought online. Yarn, 60% versus in store. And tools were 65% versus 35%. So then, are you a knitter or crocheter? Most people in the maker industry for yarn lean to be knitters, or they do both. So that's really why the market sort of caters to the knitters. I really hope at some point we can do more for crocheters. We have one great pattern. I'll put it in the description for crocheters, but we're really, really, like, when your time is really, really strapped, you have to put your resources where you get the most return. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. So that's my hump day for today. And next week, I'm very excited. I'll have my friend Scott Hanratty with me. He's designed the new scarf. Well, he's designed pretty much all of our weaving patterns that we have. And he will be with us, and he's going to show and talk about our new kit that's launching with our 2-ply camel. And I'll have him with me next week. And the scarf that he made, I'm just going to tell you, people have looked at it and said, oh my gosh, that is like Burberry quality. And it is. First of all, his work is stunning. And this yarn, I'm excited. So I'll end this as you go into the holiday weekend with a little snippet from my garden. And I hope you have a very restful weekend. I'm going to go with my husband and spend a few days with my family, and we're looking really forward to that. So may you know joy and peace, and maybe some knitting, And maybe you're one of those. That's another question for you. Are you a daily knitter? How often do you knit? Okay, we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. So I know that creatives love to do so many other creative things besides knitting, and I just thought I'd give you a look at what's been giving me a lot of joy this spring and summer. Well, first of all, here comes our big cat Wrigley, and he's looking for water in that low bird bath, which I just dumped out because I'm going to clean it and refill it. But this lily this year has been out of this world. It just started to bloom, and I wish I could transmit the aroma for you, but that's been very joyful. But let me give you a quick look at my veggie garden. Let's see, the bee balm's in bloom, and come over to one of the side beds. And there's the wonderful, one of my favorites is the butterfly weed. I love that orange color. But this year in my garden, oh my gosh, okay, this whole front row here is about to bloom. You can see the buds, and I have a ton of varieties of dahlias happening. I can't wait to make bouquets all summer long. And then here's my row of peas, and we have some beautiful peas for me to pick. And there's just lots of stuff. My peppers are coming along. I have Swiss chard. I have beautiful, beautiful beets. My friend was over the other day and he said, oh my gosh, that beet looks like the I don't know what he said, I can't remember, like the caricature beet. Like, can't wait to eat those. My basil's coming along. I have some little tomatoes popping on. I've had wonderful lettuce. My zinnias are about to pop open. Carrots didn't do so well, and I keep having these mushrooms pop up. We've had a lot of rain as opposed to last year. There's some of my kale. Yeah, I can't wait to eat more of that. Whoop! I almost stepped on some little beet transplants I did. Yeah, these are my favorite. Any of the like dark purple, black Russian type tomatoes, I love them. Their flavor is so amazing. And then I have nice beans coming back here. And there's more beets I had transplanted. My squashes are coming along. Here's all my cucumbers, and they're supposed to go up the vine, and they are not. They are trying to go onto every other plant. So we'll just take a moment and put them back on the vine. And then back here, which I'm afraid is getting crouched out, are some beautiful, beautiful okra plants. So I love okra. Anyway, really enjoying it this year, folks. Yeah, so that's my veggie garden.